Welcome back to Aamsuntitledpodcast. I'm Am. Hi, if you've never met me before, it's really nice to meet you. Welcome to my Percy Jackson dedicated podcast. For today's episode, I have something a teeny bit different for you guys. I actually have a special guest who is going to join me on the podcast. I didn't do this intro yesterday because it felt a bit weird. I've never really um worked with anyone on the podcast before. This has always been like something that I hold really close, and I never thought that I would get to the stage where I'd want to have people on with me. But I want to tell you guys I do have a special guest for today's episode. It is going to be different to what I was originally planning for this episode. This episode was supposed to be a breakdown of episode 3 and just basically my review. But I thought I would give you guys something a little bit different. And this is something that I was really excited about, and I really hope that you guys love this. Um, for today's episode, I asked my best friend to be on the podcast with me and talk all things Percy Jackson. My best friend has not read all the books yet. He's still on book 2. So we just basically sat down and talked about it. It's a very, very long episode. So I appreciate all the people that stick through right to the end. So basically, it was just me asking him questions about season 1, the first episode of season 2, and the first book, as well as how far he's gotten in the second book. Please be nice to my friend. I understand that it's quite a daunting thing to do, and I'm so proud of him for doing this. So a big thank you to Adam for being on this with me, and I hope you guys enjoy the episode. Also, there's a little bit in the recording of us fighting over Ferrero Rochers. I'm so sorry, but I didn't want to cut it out because it's absolutely hilarious. So yeah, that kind of gives you what our friendship is really like. So yeah, without further ado, I will present to you the interview with Adam.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, do your intro whenever you're ready.
No, can we just talk about the fact that you've stopped this episode because you wanted to eat a Ferrero Rocher?
You had one as well.
Okay. Thing. Let's talk about the fact that you decided, because I was giggling, like the best thing to do was to open a packet for a
I
Rocher.
was giving myself energy because I've never done this before. I need some energy.
Yeah, but this is like, it's so easy. Like once you get into it, I highly
Oh, we'll
don't
see.
recommend doing this with anyone because this is actually the most stressful thing.
No, it's all right. We'll see. Okay, do you want to do your intro?
No, I don't really want
You
to.
can't do it.
I can't do it.
Okay,
Not like this.
that's all right. Not
So,
like this. That's all right. Well, edit on.
yeah, I'll edit it on at the beginning because let's be honest, this is very different for me. Like I've never thought that I would bring guests onto the podcast just because,
I'm the first guest.
yeah,
I'm
ever.
so honoured.
Yeah, I don't do this with anyone.
Well, maybe if everyone doesn't hate me,
You
I'll
have
be
to come
back
back.
once
Yeah.
I finish season 2. Once I'm an absolute professional like you, I'll be back on.
Not professional. But maybe when I do my like breakdown of episode 8, I want to say, which is the finale of season 2. If you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend checking it out. All the episodes are available on Disney Plus now, so if you haven't watched it yet because you want to binge it, you can.
Yeah.
This is going to be the first Wednesday where there's no episode, which is
You,
quite
you
sad.
feel empty inside.
Yeah, I do. I've actually got nothing to look forward to in the week now.
Yeah, I hate that. When you finish a series, it's just you do feel pretty empty.
It's the fact that Stranger Things finished as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there is literally nothing to watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what the problem is. So
No,
if
I
anybody's
get
got
you.
a recommendation, please let me know because I'm actually depressed because there's nothing on the TV that I can watch.
Well, you've decided to watch it again. That's going to be the only answer. You're going to have to binge watch the entire season 1, season 2,
Or
reread the books.
the only other thing that I can do is just restart Game of Thrones.
Ooh.
But that's a big commitment. That's going to take at least 3 weeks. So that's a big commitment.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I'm here to offer a silly point of view because I feel like when you look at these, you have a very serious outlook on all of the episodes. So I want if I ever come back, you mentioned season 2, episode 8. You're gonna be you're gonna be loving that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
When you,
It was the finale that I didn't expect. A
Mhm.
lot went down. I was a little hesitant at first because there's a bit of like a siege sequence in episode 8 that wasn't the most
Mm,
confident with, because obviously we know it, for anyone who's read the books, which is Battle of the Labyrinth, we know like a similar sort of thing happens there. So my worry was how they were gonna make this different, and they have, which they honestly exceeded all expectations.
Mhm.
And I love that the show is slowly becoming more adult. I mean, not that it wasn't before, but it feels very different. And I know, like, for anyone who's read the books, sorry, you haven't read the books, without any sort of spoilers,
Oh,
like,
cover
Titan's
my ears.
Curse is where it gets serious. Like, people are, like, Sea of Monsters is like the last happy book. And then
Yeah.
everything from that point, like, we're talking from Titan's Curse all the way to Heroes of Olympus, is like all dark. Like minus
Oh.
Rick's new books, which are like Chalice of the Gods wasn't as dark. Neither was Wrath of the Triple Goddess. I thought that it was quite a. It was more of a light-hearted story, which I think we needed after the trauma that we faced.
Hmm.
So yeah. Also, this has nothing to do with what we're supposed to be talking about.
Well, that's all right. I mean, you can cut out our ramblings if you absolutely need to.
No, I'm not
But I
going to
think
cut it out.
what we'll do, I feel like they don't know who I am.
Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, so I've decided to do something a little bit different because I'm honestly an idiot and I've just woken up today and thought, you know what? I'm gonna just invite someone to do this with me.
Someone who can ruin your perfectly created masterpiece. You've created this amazing podcast. It's all right. I'm gonna inject some silliness and make it. I'm gonna give you an obstacle that you've got to that you've got to overcome.
If anybody has been here long enough, you know that I'm a bit of a Percy Jackson scholar. Like, read the books when I was a lot younger, and now that I'm older, I've had a chance to reread the books. I think in the last 2 years, I've reread them all the way through about 3, 4 times. So it's
Wow.
quite fresh in my mind. And obviously, the show's come out, season two's come out, so I'm pretty much on it.
Yeah.
So obviously, I brought my best friend to these books because you weren't really a fan of reading, were you?
Not even any books at all. I don't even remember the last time I read when I had the when it was completely optional, and it was just especially because it's a fun book. There's no there's no well, I mean, there's sort of some education around it maybe to do with like the Greek gods, and if you learn about that, then maybe you're interested in sort of like it's you learn about it as you're reading it just because it's fun. But it's meant to be a fun story. It's not meant to be
Yeah.
something that's meant to like educate you, which I never do. I genuinely haven't done that since I've been in school. So this is quite a new experience. And I like the fact that there's no pressure because it's obviously it's I wouldn't I'm not going to call it a kid's book. I'm just going to
It's
say
not a
that
kid's
it
book.
can be read by people of different ages. So I think because of that, it's not daunting to go into. I know that there's never going to be any words that I don't know or any concepts that I don't really understand. So I can just sort of relax as I'm reading it and like take my mind off of things.
Yeah, these books are books that I recommend because of the way that they're written. Like they're written in first person point of view, which I really like. Like I've never read books like that before.
Hmm.
And even as I've gotten older and I'm in more of the adult sort of fantasy section, nothing really gives me the same feeling that Percy Jackson gives me.
Yeah, it's not
Which,
that escapism that you get when you're like, because you remember reading it for the first time, maybe. And I mean, even when I'm reading it, I've never had an experience of Percy Jackson in any form, really, when I was that age. But you read it and it does sort of take you back to that sort of age because you relate to being, however, what is he, 12 in the first book?
yeah.
Yeah, you remember sort of what it's like to be that age and you go to new schools at that age and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think the reason why these books stayed with me for so many years is the moral lessons. I talk a lot about that on the podcast, which is like the things that you learn. Because even though these books were written like 20 years ago,
Yeah.
there's still stuff in there that is like applicable to now. And, you know, like the Greek family is a complicated family. Like, please don't get me wrong. But how is that different to the families that we live in now?
Mm.
Everyone's family has a level of complexity. And I think that that's like reading these books has somehow given me a different sort of understanding of family dynamics and why sometimes relationships and things can be difficult. um and I think like bringing you to this book, like I said to him, like if you want to get into reading, like this is the place to start.
Yeah.
because this world opens so many doors for you.
Hmm.
Like, this gave me my love of fantasy. Like, growing up, I used to love fantasy movies, but I never got the kick for reading until it was Percy Jackson. And it was like this. I remember when I first picked up the book, and someone said to me, they were like, "Yeah, but this is a story about like a boy. Like, you're never going to be able to
Hmm.
relate to that."
Yeah.
But actually, it's not. Like, it's something that everyone can get into, regardless of gender, regardless of how old you are, ethnicity, all that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
these books are just, they're universal books. That's the way I look at it. It's just like, there's something for everyone in there. I am trying to get my sister into it. She's not taking it in, and it's just like, when I was your age, like, that was the thing I wanted to do.
Oh, she'll start reading it and then she'll
Oh
be hooked.
God, I remember trying to read the first chapter of the Lightning Thief book with her, and she just went, "Are you done yet?"
Oh, she will.
There
She
was
will.
no
Maybe
appreciation.
maybe you need to
And I was just like,
watch the
whatever.
series first. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm so happy that, like, obviously when I was growing up, like, after I read the books, the first experience I had with Percy Jackson being on the screen was the movies,
Mm.
and
It's a bit of a disservice.
yeah, it hurt my feelings to watch a movie. They're great standalone movies, but they were an injustice to Percy Jackson.
Hmm.
And, I was really worried. Like I said this, like, initially when I first found out there was going to be a series, I was worried. So I was like, oh God, like, I don't want them
Not
to,
again.
to screw it up. But they've done such a great job. And, like, we get season 3 this year as well. And I just couldn't be happier, like, with the direction that they've taken it. And our Percy Jackson Walker is just, I don't know what it is about him. It just feels like, I say this to you all the time, it feels like he fell out of the book.
Yeah.
I don't know. Rick has this magic power where he shook the first book and Walker has fallen out of it.
I don't know. I feel like that about so many of the characters, to be fair. I
Oh
think
God,
Annabeth
it's
was so
great.
perfect. Grover was definitely perfect because he's supposed to be older than everyone, and you definitely sort of feel that he's like more mature.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
of
mean, you feel that in
course.
the books, obviously, but they did that really well to sort of make it come across again with the series. So they don't really know how much I've written
Oh
or
yeah.
read, sorry.
So I'm just gonna give you guys a bit of a disclaimer, which is Adam's only read like, he's 5 chapters into the second book. He hasn't got to Titan's Curse, Battle of the Labyrinth, and the Last Olympian
So
yet.
you can laugh at my naivety.
Yeah. So what I've said is that when I do this episode, the things I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to talk to him about the first book because he's read that all the way through. We're
Mhm.
going to talk about season 1 because he's seen that as well.
Yeah.
You've seen the first episode of season 2, so we'll
So
talk about
I'm at the
that.
same point in the series that I am in the book as well. So I'm watching them
And
alongside.
what else did we say we were going to talk about? The book, like, basically what he's read in the book so far.
Yeah.
So the way this is going to work is I'm going to ask Adam a few questions,
Hmm.
and pick his brain basically.
Yeah. So we
I'm going
can.
to try and get him to read into things a little bit more.
Oh, I'll try my best.
It's do you know what it is? It's about being. Maybe it's because I've read these multiple times. Maybe my mind has opened to.
You see new things every
Yeah,
single
of
time you
course.
read it. So
Yeah,
you've probably you know all of the details, all of the reading between the lines. You know every single bit that's there.
yeah. The first thing, actually, as we're talking about the first book,
Hmm.
a question that I forgot to put on here, which
Right.
I just thought of
No,
off the
that's
top of
fine.
my
Yeah.
head, is what do you think of Rick as a writer?
Ooh, okay. This is quite cool because I suppose I'm also into it a little bit on like a social media side, which has sort of spoiled a little bit of it. So I'm like really far ahead in some aspects, and then maybe on the book, I'm not actually that far ahead. But I see all the people on social media talking about it basically. And I have seen interviews with Rick, and that really helps, to be fair. It's quite nice when I enjoy the books, and then I enjoy the idea behind it as well. Because I've seen interviews where he talks about why he made the books. He wrote them for his son, um, because he had ADHD and dyslexia. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, so if you don't know, Rick's son actually was struggling a lot in school prior to these books being written, and Rick came up with this incredible idea of making having ADHD and
Yeah.
dyslexia a superpower. Like, he
Hmm.
wanted to create a role model for his son, someone his son could look up to and not feel like he was isolated in the world because he had this condition. And in creating this incredible universe for his son, he gave so many people that felt like they didn't have a home.
Yeah, I think
And
that's pretty cool.
yeah,
I like the way that they did that, and that's probably the main thing that I could talk about with Rick. But I like it. I love his writing style as well. It's
yeah.
quite maybe does it get more advanced as the books go on? I can imagine it gets a little bit
It's
more
an easy
complicated.
read. Like it's not a difficult sort of like I don't know how to explain it. Some books that you read, it can be quite difficult to see what the author is trying to say.
Yeah,
One thing I really appreciate about Rick, and I don't know if you've noticed this, but in the most like I say this so much on the podcast. Whoever's been listening to this for as long as I've been doing this knows that I say this every single time. When Rick creates a series like a serious moment in like in a scene, like like there's these massive stakes
yeah.
and like everything's feeling all a little bit intense,
hmm
he puts something in there that will make you laugh.
Just something silly to
Just
bring it
something
back down to earth.
stupid.
Yeah,
Like he'll just put it in there and it's to give the audience, I my personal belief is to give the audience a bit of a relief, which I like.
I
I
find
like that it's not serious all the time.
you're right. I did actually find that more with the books because I think I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself with the series. Maybe it's more serious the entire time. And when it's joking time, there's lots of jokes, and when there's action, there's lots of action. It's kind of go, 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 go. It's all at once. With the books, you do notice that there are a lot more light-hearted moments in there
Oh
that
yeah.
they throw in halfway through. Especially, you're right, they do actually put it in the moments where it's quite serious. Where it's like the final battle or something, and then actually, I don't know. Maybe this isn't what you were talking about, but I remember with the final battle with Ares, and then he talks about how the mist showed the police officers that they were just fighting with shotguns, which is a
Yeah.
little bit silly, really. Like, yeah, it just shows that it's like, oh, humans are complete idiots, basically.
And actually, I was going to say something, but you haven't read, like, I was thinking of a reference from, I don't know if I think it's Battle of the Labyrinth,
hmm
or is it Titan's Curse?
It's all right. I don't mind being. I'll
And
forget it
there's a scene
eventually.
with Rachel Elizabeth Dare. I think everybody knows what I'm going to talk about the blue hairbrush scene. And obviously, this is Kronos like coming towards them, and Rachel just sort of lobs the hairbrush at him. It's like Percy's about to die. Like, this is a serious situation. And Rachel's first move is to be like, I'm throwing a hairbrush at you. But it's one of those moments that is so, it gets remembered by people because it is silly, but it is also
Yeah,
really serious. And that's what I love so much about Rick and the way he says things and the way he sets scenes up, particularly with like the Percabeth stuff, it's there, but it's also not there. Like in the show,
yes, yes.
visually, it's a lot easier to spot, but when you're reading the books, it's a bit like, ooh, like,
You're so right because in this literally in the first episode of season two, which is the most recent thing that I've watched, I felt it so much more than I wanted to feel it, especially because of the social media type of things. People do mention it quite a lot.
TikTok edits, guys,
May have seen a few of those.
Instagram reels,
Yeah,
posts by yours truly.
yeah. Um, but I do see a lot of it more, a lot more of the Percabeth, a lot more of the sort of, ooh, they're looking at each other in the eyes, the subtle body language that maybe is less so in the books. And actually, probably because obviously it's first person, and if Percy is like this,
He's oblivious the whole
yeah,
time.
if he's
Yeah,
oblivious himself, then he doesn't even know that it's going on.
yeah.
Whereas I suppose that's the stage that we're at in the series, where it is actually maybe hinting at it is actually happening, but we don't really. He doesn't know.
Yeah, but also it comes like contribute to Walker and Leah. Like they are fabulous. Like the way they lean into it but don't lean into it. Like they give like I was saying this to someone this morning, they give you enough to get you excited, but they don't give you everything. Like particularly in season 2, like if you can already see it from now, by the time you get to the end, it
Oh yeah.
becomes ridiculously obvious that there's something going on there. And I think like in the book she had a bit of a, which is something I'm going to ask you about in a bit,
hmm
which is like she had a bit of a thing for Luke, but the show has kind of changed that because there is such a huge gap between
Yeah.
Charlie and Leah.
hmm
They have to make it more realistic, so they've decided to lean into the more sibling side of things,
Yeah.
which I agree with. I think that was a brilliant step from the shows because people had such an issue with it being in the books.
Yeah,
So, and I
yeah,
think I
that makes
talked
sense.
about that when I first started reviewing the book.
There's,
Like, I mentioned that.
mm, it's more. It shows it more when you can actually see the age of the people in the when you can see them, and obviously Leah is tiny, so she looks so young.
She's representing all those short people. You know what I mean? Like, I'm
There's
happy
nothing
with
wrong with
that.
that. There's nothing wrong with that, and I think it is actually it's quite good because Walker is an absolute giant as well
Well, how tall is he? Like 5'7", 5'8".
already. So
Yeah,
he's going to be just 7 foot soon.
yeah.
Um,
By the time we get to Last Olympian, like they're gonna have to like put Leah on a box or something because she's just not gonna be able to see him anymore.
they do quite well to show her as this hardened warrior who's been at camp a few more years than Percy, and is she a little bit older as well?
She's a month older than
Yeah,
him, so they don't have a big age gap.
but maybe maturity wise, he is a lot younger because she's been fighting monsters her entire life, and he only found out last year. Um, but they do well to show her, even though maybe she looks a bit younger, they do well to show her as this sort of like hardened warrior who's been in battle for ages and is sort of taken seriously.
Yeah, I think a lot of what I like about season two is they're showing Annabeth in a more vulnerable light. And you really get to peel back those layers of a character because she is a very complex character. Like Percy, I feel like is one of those characters that's quite straightforward to understand.
Because you see the evolution of Percy,
Yeah,
so you can understand all the different stages. You understand that obviously he had this like bad upbringing, and then there was Gabe involved, and it didn't really know why he was so different at school and things like that. So you sort of understand how that feels as he figures out who he actually is. Whereas Leah, you only know it after the fact, so you've got to sort of figure out what made her who she is.
yeah, and they just
Sorry,
have.
not Leah, person, Annabeth.
Yeah, and with Annabeth, like her mum, like to be honest, Percy's quite lucky in the sense that he gets to meet Poseidon a few times in his like the while he is at like camp, whereas with Annabeth, she never really sees her mum. Like she meets her a few times in the books, but it's not enough. Like we see even like just the smallest glimpse of her dad soon as well,
Yeah.
who I'm really excited for because I'm a huge fan of Jesse L. Martin. I was so excited that he's been cast as Annabeth's dad. I grew up watching him on The Flash, and he was just like an incredible Joe West and just an incredible father figure. So I'm
Ooh,
excited to see
I
how
didn't
his
know that.
dynamic plays out with Annabeth. Anyway, can we actually talk about what we're supposed to be talking about? We've gone on for like 21 minutes just talking about stuff that is nothing to do with what I'm about to ask
That's a
you.
brilliant sign. It means we're going to be here for 3 hours.
Fantastic. Let's do it. Okay.
I mean, if you want to skip a couple of questions, it's not the end of the world.
No, I'm not
We'll,
skipping a couple of questions.
oh,
It took me to devise these questions. I am not skipping anything.
okay, okay.
Okay, so first of all, I'm going to ask Adam about the Lightning Thief book, and then we will move on to the show and other things. So we'll start with that.
Okay, I'll try my best.
So the first line in the first book is, "Look, I didn't want to be a half-blood." So what that is a very unique opening for a book.
Hmm.
So what was going through your head when you just read that first sentence? It's the first line in the book.
Yeah. Okay, I like that they began the series exactly the same.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously, it's a retelling of his entire summer. So I suppose the point that Percy's at when he's retelling the story is at the end of the summer, the end of the book,
Yeah.
as if he's just written it about his experiences while he's going back to school and he's back at home. Um, I quite like that, to be fair. I like this whole monologue that he has at the start where he's introducing himself. It really sets the scene quite well because I'll be honest, I genuinely didn't know anything about him. I remember some of the things like pictures and certain things that you've sent me, but
Just being called out for just getting excited about things. I'm
hey, I
sorry.
know everybody else is like that. Everybody else, there's a certain level of obsession which is
It's
healthy.
not obsession.
Mhm.
We, as the Percy Jackson fandom, have to be serious about what we're talking about. And this, do you know what it is? I genuinely think this is because it means so much to so many different people, and I think that's why we have people that like myself who are just
Mhm.
fully in it. Like,
You don't miss. anything,
Oh no, 100% I'm there. If I'm watching something, like particularly Percy Jackson, I'm there with 110% energy.
which I can probably say I am the opposite. I'm there to escape. My brain is turned off. I'm like, oh, look at the big monster. You know what I mean? I'm not necessarily analyzing it in the same sense, but I think that's actually better. Well, it's cool to see maybe that point of view because everybody is so into it. Everybody knows what they're on about, and
Oh yeah.
all the viewers, I can imagine, they know what they're talking about.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So maybe it's kind of interesting, even if it's just to laugh at my inexperience. Um, yeah, it must be quite interesting to sort of see. Oh, good sneeze.
Thank you. Sorry, I would normally pause it when I was about to sneeze, but you were talking, so I was just like,
No,
whatever.
that's fine.
I'm just gonna sneeze. Okay. I should have probably asked you this question first, which is, what did you actually know about this universe before you read the book? Because this is your first time reading the book.
I've seen snippets of the films,
Yeah.
both of them.
Oh yeah.
I've seen snippets of both of the films, but it was a long time ago.
Oh yeah. I don't remember the
I
last time I
haven't
saw the
read
film.
any of the books. I haven't seen any episodes. The only thing I had seen is like literally the blurb of the book
Hmm.
and a couple of edits that randomly came on my For You page. So I genuinely did not know anything. But I did actually have the sort of mental picture of some of those specs. So I already remembered what the Medusa scene looked like in the original film,
Hmm.
and I remember the poker face scene
In the Lotus
in the
Casino.
Lotus Casino. I remember that. But other than that, no, I don't really remember. And obviously, they changed a lot of stuff anyway, so maybe it wouldn't. I definitely don't think it had much of an effect.
Okay.
I was going into it pretty fresh.
It's really good though. I think it's nice to start with a blank slate. Like for me, my blank slate was the books because back when I read it, I don't even think the films were out yet.
Yeah, I'm glad that I read the books first. So how
Oh
I did
yeah,
it was I would read up to a certain point, and then I would watch the episodes that represent those parts of the book. So I wouldn't spoil anything by watching first. I would always read a certain scene before I watch it.
yeah, of course. I think that's probably the best way to do it. I think if you're ever reading like an adaptation or something, I always recommend reading the books first before you watch the movies
Mm.
because the magic that is built in a book, no matter
There's
what
so
you do,
much.
you can't like adaptations get close, please don't get me wrong, but the magic that's created in the book when you're using your own imagination of what these characters look like, what this world looks like, there is no better feeling than that.
Yeah, and you've got to fit so much into like a 45-minute episode.
Yeah.
There's genuinely so much. I remember literally like the most recent thing I've read was the basketball. No, sorry, the dodgeball scene at the very start of the second book.
That scene.
That was such a long scene. Like it obviously took ages to read because it was, well, maybe it wasn't actually that long, but I'm a slow reader. Um, but that felt like he was really worrying about it for ages because time was slowing down and he was seeing all these monsters that he hasn't seen in ages, things like that. Obviously, they're completely scared. That wasn't even in the show,
No.
but I like that they can flesh it out more in the book, so I get to experience both sides of it.
Yeah. Okay. Another thing that obviously is a big, I always talk about Sally being the invisible string in the first book.
Mhm.
Obviously, we only get to see her for a few episodes before. Unfortunately, she's taken away by the Minotaur. So, um, how do you feel about Percy and Sally's relationship? I mean, it's such a beautiful relationship, and you know, I know there's people out there that would love for someone like she. I believe in Sally's supremacy. Like I bow down to that woman because she is just. I don't know how she does it. She's done everything to protect her son, and it can't have been easy for her.
Yeah,
And like as a reader, it's so gut wrenching to read at times because you just see like this woman who's got this miracle of a son, but
yeah.
she can't put him out into the world because
Hmm.
she's scared that something's going to happen to him.
Yeah.
So I'm curious for you, like, how do you feel when you read those? Because obviously I'm a woman, so I'm naturally more emotional about stuff like that.
I think it tells you everything that you need to know because it was very nice to see that she was still alive at the end. I I definitely don't like a tragedy.
I know you don't,
So I
yeah.
hope she stays alive for the rest of the books. I'm not going to look at you just in case you give me a hint.
I'm not saying
But
anything.
okay, I love that she came back. I love a happy ending.
I know you
So
love
that
a
was
happy.
great. And they definitely did very well because she was the main reason that he was going on this quest, to be fair.
Yeah,
Obviously, there was this huge thing with the lightning thief, but he didn't really know what was going on with that half the
she's the
time.
driving force for the quest.
So the only reason he would have wanted to go on the quest is because he was going to save his mum.
Yeah, of
So
course.
they have to do really well. If that's going to be the main motivation for the reader to sort of want to him to succeed, they're going to have to motivate you quite well. They're going to have to make her this amazing character that you want to not see dead,
Yeah.
not see in hell. And I think they did that really well, definitely, because I love that they did the blue food thing. I love that, well, I don't love Gabe.
Oh no. But I just, as a woman, I understand this maternal need to do whatever it takes to protect your child. And that woman went above and beyond to protect her
Oh yeah,
son. Like,
she went from like the best to the worst.
oh yeah.
She went with Poseidon the first time around. That's not that's a pretty good way to start. And then eventually, you go to Smelly Gabe, who was so smelly.
Yeah.
In but
Poor
isn't that
Percy, man.
why that was
Genuinely
why
poor
that she
guy.
was with him in the first place? Because he
Yeah, his
smelt a lot.
smell used to protect Percy from monsters. And, it's such a sacrifice as a mum to have to send your child away
Mm,
because you don't want them to be in danger and you want them to be kept as far away from this world as possible. And yeah,
yeah,
it was
and that
just,
was sort of her doom in the end, really, because the first time that she actually, well, she left it so long. She waited until his powers are really sort of starting to come out, starting to show themselves, and then monsters were really coming after him. She waited for that point for him to go to camp, and
yeah,
then because of that, they were being chased by monsters the whole time, and then maybe that was the reason that she sort of got taken by the Minotaur or whatever.
yeah. She made the ultimate sacrifice to protect her child. And luckily she didn't die. But I know you were really shocked when you read it,
Is
weren't
it
you?
right at the start? I was like, all you know about her, sorry, about the whole story at that point is, oh, this is like a really, really nice lady, and it's the only good thing in his life at that point because he's not struggling in school. He doesn't like Gabe. He only has one friend, which is Grover, and I mean, even at that point, he's feeling a little bit betrayed by Grover when he realizes that he's lying to him.
Yeah.
So he's only really got his mum, and then she is immediately killed off. That I was not expecting
Yeah,
that.
the messages I got, right? I was at work when you were reading this book. And I'm not joking, right? My phone pings, please don't get me wrong. Like my phone's always on loud, but I was just getting a ping, 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 ping
Yeah,
every 5 seconds. And I remember going back, like on my lunch break, and just looking at my phone and just saying, "Oh my God, it's dead!" I was like,
there was no need for them
guys,
to kill off my
calm
favorite
down.
character.
I was like, just stick with the story. Just, I promise you, I wouldn't bring you to this world if I didn't think you could hack it.
Well, yeah, that was. I'm glad she's alive then.
Yeah,
That was very relieving, and it was so satisfying at the end when she used Medusa's head to
get rid of Gabe.
stone him.
Bye bye, Gabe. We don't like Gabe.
Yeah, and then also she started like going to college or something. She got like a further education. There was so much going on.
Yeah, this is the first time she's lived her life for herself.
Yeah.
Like where she's not worried about Percy anymore. Her son's finally settled in. She
Mm.
feels like she can go and do her thing now.
Another thing,
Hmm.
when he came to camp for the first time, and I don't know if he'd already been chosen yet, but when he does something, might be when he gives away the food. when he gives away, they always says that he gives away like the juiciest bit of meat or like the best cut of meat or something, so that it's like an offering to the gods. At some point, he throws away some of his sweets to try and speak to his mum, I think.
Yeah.
Am I right in saying that? That that was really nice. I like that.
It was just like he could have prayed to anyone, even his own dad, but he chose his mom. She was the person he cared the most about.
Well, if anything, at that point, which I kind of agree with, personal opinion, he was feeling pretty betrayed
Oh
by
yeah.
his dad. I mean, because he finds out that his dad is actually alive. He finds out that his dad's like this hugely powerful person, and then he realizes that they're choosing not to reveal themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, he says that he might not find out who his dad is for years.
Yeah. And it's this big thing about these Greek parents, like they're not involved in their children's lives. Like the reason why this war is taking place is because these children are fighting against them because they're not there. They're
Mm.
just sort of creating like these children who are extremely powerful and just leaving them to it. It's just like that's not what being a parent is. And I think one of the reasons why Percy is who he is because of his mum. All those teachings and that wisdom that she's given him and the way she's brought him up has made him such an incredible person. And I think the reason why he doesn't turn out like Luke is because his mum is there
Yeah.
and she always tells him to do the right thing and she uses
There's
like
definitely some opportunities that he has to go to the dark side, like, and even somewhere he's more maybe inclined to do so when he's like angry at the whole system, basically. But he does turn out to sort of be, yeah, maybe because of the people in his corner, he turns out to sort of be on the right side of history.
okay. Right, that took a lot of waffling, so I'm going to try and rein it in a little bit.
Whoops.
So obviously you're a son, right? You have a mom,
I I do.
and well, yeah, good to know. Um, it's the one of the things that comes to my head a lot is the relationship between Sally and Percy. As a daughter, I don't really
Yeah, you don't feel it in the same way.
feel it in the same way. Whereas for
Mm.
you, like I'm like the way I used to think about it is if I ended up in that situation,
Mm.
how I would respond, and for you, like how that must feel.
Yeah, there's something to do with the fact that he is only with his mum. There's something to do with the fact that he is obviously figuring out that he does he actually have ADHD, or is that just a cover up for the fact that he's seeing Greek words?
No, no, no. It's the ADHD is a strength for them because it means that their brains are not wired to understand English. They're
Yeah.
wired for ancient Greek. So it's a power basically.
So that's pretty cool. I like that. I like, and also I can relate because I'm a bit forgetful,
A bit ADHD.
a bit ADHD, you could say. Not diagnosing myself, but we're there. Um, yeah, I think the crux of that is like, oh, how do you sort of relate to him and his
And his
mum?
mom, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's pretty cool, and I think also I can imagine if I was a kid, which it sort of does take you back to that point. You remember being 12 and whatnot. I would love to go to this camp. That's like the overall thing that you sort of get. It's first of all they make you relate to them, and or maybe you talk about all the reasons that they're not maybe in a fortunate position, and then afterwards he goes to this camp. It's kind of like Harry Potter when he gets all of the
Yeah.
letters through the door, and it's just like, oh, he's having this stroke of luck, and he's going through this camp, and he finds out that he's got superpower. Well, not kind of got superpowers, and he's this special person. He's actually the most special person because he's the most powerful, supposedly, because he's one of the big three, and
Oh
there's
yeah.
none of the other big three. Like he
Yeah.
finds out all of this in the space of like a week.
He did
So,
well to like digest all that information in just a week.
well, I think it's definitely written well because I was jealous.
No.
I was like, I want this so bad. That is so cool.
Yeah.
Also Riptide. I want one of those.
You're not having a riptide purely because I don't trust you
Can
and
I?
you're
I'll have the
so
pen
clumsy.
version. but I don't get the sword version.
Yeah, I'll give you a pen. You can have a
Great.
pen. Um,
A pen that says Riptide on it, but I can't remember what it says in Greek.
anathema
Yes.
in Greek. Okay, so we're gonna wow, that was a long waffle about Sally and Percy,
Maybe
wasn't
we
it?
won't get through all of them.
Okay.
We shall see.
Do you have I think one of the reasons why I love Rick's writing so much is also his chapter titles. I think his chapter titles are iconic. The way he says things is so fun. He purposely like I don't know how to describe it. It's like
He,
he perfectly describes a chapter in a sentence.
I think, yeah, you are right because you see it and you're like, how on earth a killer bird's gonna be in the next chapter? I have no idea. Or the one where he's like, oh, I almost got killed by a mattress or something.
Yeah, that's
Th-
in this book
And you're
actually.
like, how on earth is that gonna come into the next chapter? I have no idea. And then it somehow manages to happen, and it's exactly how it would be described by a 12-year-old.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just, I mean, yeah, it's just, I'm very excited to see what other ones might come up.
Okay, so on the basis of that, I want you to tell me which one your favorite, the name of. Okay, what's the name of the favorite chapter then?
Okay, I've had a look. I think my favorite chapter, based on also what it's got in the chapter, is chapter 6. I become Supreme Lord of the Bathroom. Kind of because what actually happens in the chapter as well.
Yeah, that's where Percy first realizes that he's got this
And he
power
also,
with water.
yeah, and he doesn't know that he's Poseidon's son yet. And Clarice is teasing him, and it's kind of like he says that, "Oh, I'm used to being teased." He says things like that. It kind of plays the story again that he always has when he goes to a new school,
Mm.
and then something happens differently, and it shows that he's sort of broken the cycle of this unhappy situation, and also it hints at the fact that he might be really special, which is quite nice. And also, I was like convinced that he was Poseidon's son at that point. Like I was like, oh, I've found out. I already know.
Okay, so everybody who listens to me knows I'm a huge fan of Perciveth. I always have been. They are my favorite love story ever. I don't read romance books because I don't like it. It makes me feel a bit sick. But there is something so unbelievably special about Percy and Annabeth.
They can't see it, but I'm side-eyeing you right now.
Yes, I know, I know. Just I'm not responding to this hate,
No,
okay?
no,
And
no. I'll be honest. I didn't think I would be. I didn't think I would
you're
get into.
invested too, don't lie.
I'm a bit invested.
You want to know. You want them to be together, don't lie.
Yeah, especially because where I am in the book as well, Annabeth is.
Sorry, minor interruption here. I'm trying to think about what I was
That's
trying to
Royal
say.
Mail. Do you get sent pictures of Royal Mail?
Yeah.
Like, do you get sent the
Oh my god,
picture?
now we're just talking about flipping Royal Mail. Right, okay, let's get back on track. So yeah, we're talking
Oh, have
about
you already
Percy and
pressed
Anne.
record?
Yeah,
Whoops. Good luck cutting that out.
I'm not cutting it out. It's just going to be
Yeah, you
left
are.
in there. I'm not cutting that out.
You're cutting.
I'm not cutting that out. Anyway, so yeah, the first line that Annabeth says to Percy when she first meets him is the line, "You drool when you sleep,"
Mm-hmm.
and I just think that that's such a unique way to meet someone. And you kind of knew a little bit about the Percy and Annabeth dynamic because of me.
A little bit. I think I
A
knew a
little
lot.
bit, a little bit, a
I
little
think
bit,
I
a
knew
little
a
bit.
lot.
So how did you feel? Because this is your first, actually, the first time you really get to see Annabeth.
Yeah. Also,
What?
straight away, he says that she's pretty or something like that, I think. Because he says that she's got blonde hair and she says that he's like pretty. That's, I mean, you already know.
Yeah, you
You
know there's
already know.
something there.
And that's their way of hinting at it, which is quite nice because obviously that's something that he would think. And it's in a first person point of view. So you would get.
Yeah, we're basically just hearing his internal monologue the
hmm
whole time, which is
Which,
why I like it.
oh yeah, so whether he likes it or not, he thinks that she is pretty.
So yeah, I'll ask you more about Perciveth the closer we get. The more you
Read into it.
I've just remembered Adam hasn't read the siren scene yet, which is probably one of my favorite Percival scenes, which is in book two. So maybe when he reads that scene, I'll bring him on just for the few minutes to just talk about that scene.
Okay. I
But
mean,
yeah.
yeah, the bits it hasn't really hinted at it much in the book yet.
No, no, no. In the first book, there's not really much said. I think from the second book onwards, that's where it sort of starts to build. It's
The
a
only
slow
bit
burn, so it took
the
about
only
four
bit that
books.
really hinted at it was the ride. Is it the Tunnel of Love?
Oh yeah.
That ride, they were both like, "Ew, I'm not going on that because you're a girl."
But they were very young at that time as well. Like when you think about it, in these books, they're 12 years old. Like they're
Yeah.
not thinking about that sort of stuff. You guys couldn't see that, but there was a bit of a side eye I was giving
No, I
there.
don't know what
Not
you're talking
thinking about that sort of stuff. At least at 12 years old, that's not the sort of stuff I was thinking about.
about. Right.
But yeah. Okay, so I remember when you were reading the book, you mentioned liking Luke as a character.
Yeah, he was like this surfer dude in the book, wasn't he? Long hair, blonde hair.
Yeah,
And also, he's the leader of this Hermes house, and he's the one that takes him in. Who's also
like a big
looked,
brother.
yeah, exactly. He seemed, on the surface at least, to be similar to Annabeth. Or actually, no, even better than Annabeth, because he was like the only friend that he actually made from camp.
Yeah. So what I was going to ask you is how did you feel when you found out he was the lightning thief? And also, did you know he was the lightning thief before it was revealed?
I want to say yes,
No, you didn't know though, did you? Don't lie.
but I also guessed everyone and
Yeah, I got message after message. Is it this person? Is it that person? I was like, no, you just have to keep
at some point
reading.
I thought it was Chiron. At
Yeah.
some point I thought it was Clarice. At some point I didn't think it would be Annabeth. But maybe in a moment of desperation, it was Annabeth. I don't know. Or maybe it was him and he didn't even realize. Maybe it's Poseidon himself. I don't know. So technically, at some point, I said Luke, but I don't think that was my main theory.
You liked him too much to be like, no. You're like, oh, it could be Luke, but I don't think it is. I mean, he's such a nice
It's.
guy. And I was like,
I also. I think it's more obvious in the series.
oh, yeah,
You're more
yeah,
like suspicious of Luke because he doesn't spend as much time with Luke in the series, and then yeah, you can sort of tell.
yeah,
And it was more of a reveal,
yeah.
I
So
suppose.
basically, you had no idea, really, did you, that it was coming?
Yeah, no, no. Okay, fine. I didn't have any idea.
I thought that was such a great
Twist.
twist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I guessed it when I was younger. The one I did guess was who the spy was in book four. I knew who it was. I'm not going to say it because obviously Adam has read the books, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I knew who the spy was. So
Mm,
keep on the lookout for everyone.
I'm gonna forget that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so who's your favorite character from the first book? 'Cause I feel like this can change per
From
book.
the book, I'm trying to think of the options. Grover as an option,
Yeah, we love Grover. He's very sweet.
but definitely he's better in the series than he is in the book.
Yeah.
I think I've forgotten the name of the actor.
Arian.
Arian, he's absolutely perfect.
Oh yeah, we love Arian. He's
And
so good.
yeah, it's super just
He is Grover. Like, there's no
mhm,
argument about how good he is as
definitely.
Grover.
They did so well casting him, and you can sort of really tell that he's supposed to be older than everybody else, but also he's this character that doesn't really want to start a fight. He's like, oh,
He's
let's
a
just
very pacifist character, isn't he? He doesn't believe
yeah,
in violence.
yeah. Other options we don't really see her that much, but Percy's mum,
Sally.
Sally,
Yeah, we love
yeah.
Sally.
I mean, there's just nothing not to like about Sally. I don't think there's any moments where I mean they argue a little bit, but Percy's always wrong, so. He's wrong in those moments because he's just like a kid being a kid.
Yeah.
Um, I'll have to say Grover, but actually no, another one that I've just thought of, Chiron. He's up
Oh
there.
yeah, we love Chiron.
He's great, and I like that he was like the first one to support Percy, even when he didn't really believe it.
Hmm.
Percy was still a little bit suspicious of Chiron because he lied to him and because um there was that moment where he saw him whispering with Grover
Hmm.
and he didn't know who to trust.
Hmm.
That was a bit of a moment where he like sort of lost trust with him.
Hmm.
But I just think Chiron's great, and a Pegasus is such a cool. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Is a Pegasus the thing that I'm trying to think of? No. What's
No,
the half horse?
centaur.
Centaur. Yeah, I think they're really cool,
Yeah.
and I want one.
Yeah, well, you can't have one. Right, just before we wrap up talking about the book, the last question I'm sort of going to ask you is what is it about this book that made you want to read? Like, carry on with the rest of the series? Because sometimes this has happened to me before where I've read something and there's another few books and I'm like, no.
Yeah, it
So there's
seems
got to
like
be
a.
something special about it that makes you want to read on, you
Hmm.
could say.
I think it helps because it was somewhat easy.
Yeah,
Like it
that's a fair point.
shouldn't feel like you sort of have to. It's quite taxing to pick up the book each time. It's like it's quite easy. Also, because I read it in like a week. Like I was
It's really good for you. I'm actually surprised.
because as soon as I was in, I was like completely in,
He's like
and I just
fully locked in.
yeah, I really wanted to read the book, and it was also quite motivating as well because as soon as I read a certain bit, I was able to watch the series. So now I just want to know what happens, and I also it's kind of like an achievement because I want to get past the series. I want to beat the series. You know what I mean? So I'll probably have obviously watched. I will obviously have read book three a lot before season three comes out, so I'll be able to watch it as someone who knows what's gonna happen, which would be quite nice.
Yeah, book three is a big change. Like for all us book fans, like I remember being so shocked reading Titan's Curse because it all of a sudden became a lot darker. People were dying. There were higher stakes. Annabeth went missing, and it was just like, what is going on? Like, what's going on?
Also, I mean, I'm intrigued to see what it's like once it gets a lot darker.
I like to see a bit more of a dark Percy.
Oh God.
I'm very, very I like the sort of turn his character takes.
Hmm.
But we'll talk about that when we get there. So the next bit that we're going to talk about is obviously season one, which
Hmm.
you've seen all the way through.
Yeah.
So
I've sort of accidentally got ahead of myself a little bit when I was talking about the book, but yeah.
okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about season one. I have a bit of a more of a generic question to start this off before we actually talk about the series. So obviously, the Percy that you see in the show is very different to how book Percy is described.
Hmm.
So I'm curious now that you've watched the show, when you read this new book,
Hmm.
do you see Walker when you're reading the words on the page, or do you see your version of what you've created, of what you think Percy looks like?
Kind of. Yeah. I think most of the time I see like effectively Walker, but with brown hair. Like weirdly, because you look at the picture on the front of the book that I've got, kind of looks like even well, he's got short brown hair.
Hmm.
So I mean, obviously it's
You've
very
got the new
different to
covers
Walker.
there, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got the new covers, but yeah, I think I definitely imagine Grover exactly the same.
As Arian.
Like that's definitely one of them. I my version of Sally was very similar.
Oh, I love
Uh,
Virginia. She's great. She actually is Sally. It's amazing.
Chiron was a little bit different because obviously he has like short hair in the series, and I imagine him as like a bit younger looking, even though he's probably thousands of years old. Um, but most people are
Yeah.
because they're immortal. Um, yeah, I think it's definitely. I think it is Walker. He's one of the ones. So
Walker is Percy.
a couple of them are the same, and then a couple of them sort of differ.
Okay, it's not too bad because I know like people, like a few people that I've spoken to, they've said to me that now that um they have read like they're rereading the books after they've seen the show, all they can see is Walker.
I imagined that's true. That definitely. I think it definitely changed to some sort of amalgamation of them both. Um, I imagine him as small though. Even in the second book, I imagine him as sort of small Walker from the first series because obviously
Walker's
he's supposed to be
grown
like
so
13,
much.
and I imagine Annabeth as like tall
Oh yeah.
because she's like this warrior who's got loads of experience in fighting. It's difficult for me to not imagine that she's like also this sort of like similar to how Clarice looks.
Oh yeah, Dior. Honestly, she's not only just stunning, but she's also very tall.
Yeah, that's a good casting as well because she genuinely looks like she would beat him up.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like Dior is like the nicest person in interviews, but when she is Clarice, she is got that bully energy.
Mhm.
But she's such a nice person, and like she owns season two. Her performance in season two has honestly been incredible. Like episode four of season two, you haven't got there yet, but you finally understand why Clarice is the way that she is, and she's not all bad.
Yeah.
And I think in the books I didn't really like her as much, but I think the series has made me more fond of her, and maybe that's because her character has been hashed out a bit more. But yeah, I love Dior. I think she's great. Anyway, let's
That's
go
all right.
back
No,
to the first season before I go on a tangent again.
I'm very excited for
So, what's
season
your
two.
favorite episode from season one? Because season one had some really good episodes. So, what's your
Oh, okay.
favorite?
You might have to give me a second to think. Um,
I'll say mine while you're thinking about this.
okay, sure.
My favorite is episode five in the Tunnel of Love. So, a
hmm
god buys us cheeseburgers. That's probably my favorite episode for
I
obvious reasons.
I like that part, and I also like all of just a little bit of a tangent. There's a lot of food imagery in the book,
Oh yeah.
and he's really good at describing it. It makes me hungry every single time. Like when Medusa gives them burgers, and also Ares buys them a load of like burgers and fries. It's so good.
So we know what you're
It's
thinking
amazing.
about. You're thinking about food.
So I was thinking about food the entire time. No, I'd probably say
I think you were saying episode two, weren't you?
yeah, episode two was really good.
With catching a fly.
Where they have this whole sort of introduction of the camp.
Hmm.
Because obviously episode one ends where he's been knocked out, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been knocked out and he's like waking up in this new land and he's discovering all of the fact that he is got superpowers, the fact that he might be stronger than everybody else because he beats up Clarice and her gang. Um, and also you just see everything that I would have imagined in the book. Like you see the valley and you
Oh yeah.
see the stream and all of that. I really like that.
That's all Vancouver. That's beautiful.
It- I think that might be the reason that it's my favorite because you first see the camp, and that is just when I was saying earlier about how I'm jealous. I that made me even more jealous because I just want to go there.
Okay. So in episode three, I think it is. This is like it's
I've just
re-
seen your notes.
shut up. In episode three, Grover sings the consensus song to try and resolve a conflict between Percy and Annabeth. So how did you feel watching that scene? Because obviously the consensus song is not in the book, but I think it was a brilliant addition in the show. And the way Arian sings it is just so he sings it with so much. I don't know what the word is to
Yeah,
describe it really.
I
It's
had
just
no idea where that came from in the series. It was like, okay, he's singing a song now, but it was so cute. I think definitely solidified Orion as like just perfect for Grover.
do you know what I think it is? Arian has this incredibly beautiful innocence, and
Mm,
the way he plays this character with so much heart and so much soul, like you just want to give the guy a hug.
yeah,
Like you can tell, like he's had it hard as well. Like he doesn't really talk much about what he's been through, but it's so nice to see Arian in that role and the way he plays Grover, particularly in season one. He has this childlike innocence to him, which I really like. Like even though Grover is so much older,
yeah,
he represents this naiveness and this innocence of childhood
and
that I like.
that's his attempt to sort of keep the peace, obviously.
Yeah.
And then in a little bit after that, in Medusa's underground house thing in her basement, he sort of snaps.
Oh
Like
yeah.
he like has a go at them, and he's like, guys, we need to get on. Like we're all working together on the quest. We need to sort of stop fighting, and then everything sort of returns back to normal. So I like that he can be taken seriously.
Yeah, he puts his foot down when he needs to. He likes to be a very peaceful person, but sometimes he just feels the need to put his foot down, and I appreciate that about him as character as well.
hmm
Okay, so obviously we're going to talk a little bit about episode five because episode five is my favorite. Um,
mm
for many reasons, one of them being the Tunnel of Love sequence. That is the one thing I was most excited to see come to life.
hmm
And I just want you to tell me what were you thinking at that point? Because obviously you don't know much about. It's very different from the book,
They
so
did, yeah, they changed a lot. That was maybe the first bit that they did actually change load because Grover wasn't there, and I was very intrigued because I thought they would change some stuff
Oh yeah.
because the way that they did it in the book, there was like mechanical spiders, and then there was spider webs going across,
And they
and
were
then
on
they
the
couldn't,
show, weren't they? Where the gods couldn't let them in
yeah,
and things
and
like
then they
that.
couldn't get out because of the webs, and then he used his flying shoes. Grover
Yeah.
used his flying shoes to get them out. It's just, oh, actually, no, they shot water out of one of the sides, but obviously the highlight of the main challenge in the episode was the chair.
Oh
Instead,
yeah, and
that
going
he
to
got
get
stuck
Ares'
into the
shield.
chair, and then it actually ended up being more about Percy and Annabeth overcoming their sort of fight that they had earlier in the episode.
I think what they've realized is that obviously they're two people that are very different, but they what they've come to realize over the episodes is that actually their differences are what make them special.
Yeah,
And it's like they are so much of a better team because they are different.
yeah.
And I think the whole scene where Annabeth's giving this massive speech to Hephaestus, you can already see how much Percy's changed her. Like in the beginning, like she was the sort of person that would never ask for help, who was stubborn and just felt like she had to do everything alone. But I think being with Percy through
She
like
won't
this
admit
quest,
it
she won't admit it,
to
but she
him.
needs him.
Yeah,
And like I think that feeling is the same for him. Like he can't we see how much of a mess he becomes in Titan's Curse because she's not around.
yeah,
And I think like first of all, the way those scenes were acted out were absolutely beautiful, and the bit where Percy's about to sacrifice himself, I think Annabeth in that moment realizes that you know what, this person is special to me. I don't know why they're special to me,
mm.
but they are special.
And they're more than their parents. Their parents obviously don't really like each other,
Yeah,
but then
they're
they're
more
not
than
sort.
that.
Yeah, they're more than that, and they're not sort of pre-written just to be exactly like their parents.
Yeah, and also like Percy it kind of shows a little bit of his fatal flaw as well, which I like, which is he's an extremely loyal person. Like he'd burn the world down to save a friend, he'd sacrifice a quest to save a friend. And I think at that point, Annabeth realizes that actually she is his friend and that he values her just
Yeah.
as much as he values Grover and like Luke and things like that. And I think it's taken for them to be in a near death situation for
Hmm.
them to realize what they mean to each other. And I think that's probably why I liked that. And also, I like the fact that Hephaestus was there as well,
I like that he was there. Yeah.
because I think he saw these two people who shouldn't be in each other's lives, but they are. Fate has put them together for a reason. And I think even Hephaestus knows there's something special about the two of them.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's quite
But yeah,
nice.
it was such a great episode. It makes me emotional every single time I watch it. Like no matter how many times I've seen it, it still brings those feelings out. And I think that just comes down to obviously the actors' hard work and the producers that have made the show the way that it is. But yeah, okay. So in episode, I think it's episode 6 or 7. I'm pretty sure it's 7. There's a scene where Sally
Yeah.
and
At a bar.
Poseidon, she lights a match and asks for help, and he comes to see her. This is the first time they probably would have seen each other in years.
Yeah.
And I want to know, obviously, that doesn't happen in the book.
That was the first time that we saw the actor that plays Poseidon. So it's the first
Toby
time we actually.
Stevens. Oh my god. Can we just take a moment to appreciate Toby Stevens because he is the perfect Poseidon. Like I could not have think they could have found anyone better than him to play this role.
Yeah, it was quite interesting when when Percy first saw him. Anyway, yeah, you're talking about the scene where they're at the bar.
Yeah, and Sally sort of mentions that, she's failing. Her son hates her because he can't understand why she keeps trying to
Oh
get rid
yeah.
of him.
Yeah.
And, she says that she's failing. So, the best thing for her to do right now is to take him to camp, to
Yeah.
make him part of his dad's world
Yeah.
so that he understands why she is doing what she's doing. And like Poseidon sort of looks at her and says, Are you sure like this is what you want to do? Like he is your son. And she says something very symbolic, which is, I want him to know who he is before your family tells him who they want
Yeah.
him to be. And she knows that Poseidon's family is terrible. Like they're not the best influences for Percy.
Yeah.
And like the fact that even like I think the bit that stood out to me was the fact that Poseidon still has this love for her.
I think it does show that he is a little bit different to the rest of them because he is still making some sort of attempt to be in her life, even though it's not necessarily what they're supposed to do. he still is actually coming to her aid when she asks him to. I feel like obviously someone like Zeus probably wouldn't do that.
He doesn't care about the people he's been with, let's be honest.
Yeah,
But yeah, I just thought that entire scene was so beautifully written. And, I think, like, even Poseidon says it a lot in the books, like, your mother is the queen amongst women.
yeah.
And, I think there is still genuinely feelings there for her. And I think if he did have the choice and the opportunity, he would still be with her.
Well, I am very intrigued to see them meet again. If they do, I hope that they do, and
Not
everybody lives
saying
happily ever
anything.
after.
But yeah, so it's just, yeah, I thought that scene was like symbolic. It's the first time we got to see both of Percy's parents together.
Mm.
And,
It
um,
shows how much she sacrificed for Percy.
yeah, yeah, they're just a good couple. I just think that they're very sweet, and like the reason why Percy is such a great person is because of who his parents are. Like, yes, he's this incredible human because of these powers that he's inherited from his dad,
Mm.
but also he has this humility that makes people love him.
Yeah,
And I'm glad to see that he's a nice combination of both these people.
yeah. I thought I wouldn't like him.
Who? Simon.
Yeah, I think in the books I was a little bit like
He's not very
iffy
nice in
about
the
him
books.
because yeah, he wasn't as nice.
He told Percy he was a mistake in the
Yeah,
books, and I was just like,
and
that's uncalled for.
when he first meets him in Olympus, he's doesn't know what to think of him, and yeah, I definitely didn't sort of get the same idea in the show. He was quite likable.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to talk about another god since we're on the topics of gods.
Hmm.
Ares, played by the amazing Adam Copeland. Honestly, that guy, I could not think of someone better for Ares than
That
him.
was exactly what I was imagining. And also, something's off. Sorry, just to skip ahead a little bit, when he first gets introduced in the series and they are hiding behind that rail on the motorway,
Yeah.
you know something's off with him.
Oh yeah, 100%. You know that he can't be trusted
Yeah, and even when they do go in the back of the truck, which is delivering the like illegal animals
to, yeah,
to
the
Vegas,
Lotus Casino, yeah.
it's still like they are listening to him and they're
You can
going
tell
along
he's
with
a
what he says,
Orongan.
but they already know that he's a wrong one, which is just like Ares isn't even trying to hide it because he's a god of war. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And what about that entire fight sequence where Percy challenges him to single combat, which is similar to what happens in the books, but it's not exactly the same.
There's more stakes in the series. It genuinely feels like he's probably going to lose, and the fact that he won was quite lucky, or like it does feel quite lucky, or like maybe that Poseidon helped him in some sort of way. I don't know, but it feels like there's no way that Percy would have been able to defeat him by himself. Or I was actually quite surprised that he said, "Oh, if I win, you give me Hades' crown." Am I right in
His
saying
helm,
his
yeah.
helm?
His helm of darkness, which was used to steal the lightning bolt.
Yeah, but um, I was quite surprised that he actually gave it up.
Yeah, you
He
have
did
to.
actually listen to him.
By the rules of battle, you have to.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Because he's the god of war, he has to oblige by the rules. And that is something that Percy learned from Luke. Luke taught him
Oh,
that.
okay.
He was like, there are rules in battle. He was like, regardless of who you are, you have to obey them.
Yeah,
And I thought that scene was pretty good. And watching Walker get thrown around by this ginormous man,
yeah.
it was just like, I remember watching it and being like, I don't know how Percy's going to get out of this situation.
And Annabeth and Grover,
Single combat, so
yeah,
they couldn't help.
they couldn't
They
help.
just had to stand
That
on the
was
sidelines and watch. But there was
that
a
was
bit.
tough.
I don't know if anyone else noticed. There was a scene. I think I talked about this maybe when I reviewed the episodes ages ago.
Hmm.
Um, there's a bit where Grover tries to intervene, and Annabeth sort of grabs him and pulls him back, and she's like, "No, you can't." She was like, we
Yeah,
have to let him do what he needs to do."
yeah.
And yeah, I just thought it was such a good moment, and it
Hmm.
was a good way to start the
No,
last
I did
episode.
really like that. That was nice. And you could really tell that there was like, oh, this guy's a god.
Oh
Like
yeah.
that there was a lot more. You could feel his strength.
Yeah. Okay, so obviously in episode 8 that's where Percy goes to Olympus and
Hmm.
we see Zeus,
Yeah,
the amazing Lance Reddick who's unfortunately not with us anymore. But I thought his performance just for that scene, just being in the show for just a
yeah.
couple of minutes, he owned that. Like, he was terrifying. I don't think I would be able to go up to Olympus and show the amount of sass that Percy did because I would shit myself. Let's be honest.
Yeah, you're
So,
right.
what did you think about seeing two brothers interact? So obviously we see a bit of Poseidon and we see a bit of Zeus.
Percy was ready to die.
Oh yeah, Percy opened his mouth and I was convinced he was gonna die.
And he would have if Poseidon wasn't there. But I kind of like that. He had all of this built up. He had lots of built up things to say, and he did actually sort of say them.
Yeah.
Obviously, he didn't get everything out. He still has questions when he left. But I do kind of like it, and also Poseidon when he's saying that, oh, there's a similarity between Poseidon and Percy because he would also like badmouth
Yeah.
his brother.
He says the words and the sea does not like to be restrained
Yeah.
and like obedience doesn't come as naturally to him.
Hmm.
And, I think it was a big moment that Poseidon did there. Like, he sacrificed a war to save his son. And I think that there was no bigger of a sacrifice that any parent could make. And
Yeah.
it just shows that he's so different to all the other Olympian parents. Like, he genuinely loves Percy. Like, I do believe this. And I think that love stems from the fact that he loves his mom as well. So wherever he can help his son, he will. I truly believe that. And there's a lovely scene in season 2, which you haven't got there yet, so I'm not going to say much, but there's a great scene between Percy and his dad in season 2. And it's just, you can tell that he wants to protect his son, but he also gives him the freedom to go out there
Yeah.
and say, I believe in you. You do what you need to do,
Yeah.
sort of thing. And yeah, it's just, you can see the difference in parenting style between Zeus
Yeah.
and him.
Definitely. I loved how they just like costume design wise. I think Zeus was done so perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
There was so much.
He has an aura when he comes
Yeah.
on screen. Like, there's no way to describe it, but when you look at him, he has this godly presence.
Hmm.
And I'm so sad that unfortunately he can't be here to do this anymore. Courtney B. Vance is brilliant, please don't get me wrong. But there was nothing like what I saw with Lance Reddick.
That was really cool.
But yeah. Okay. So what do you think of season 1 in general? Let's wrap this sort of
Hmm.
segment off.
Okay.
What do you think about it in general? So you were a book fan, came and saw this on screen.
Hmm.
Do you think were you happy with it?
I think they definitely did it justice. And
Oh,
also, after
100%.
seeing the adaptation of maybe like, oh, here's how you do it right with the series, the snippets of what I remember from the book, from the film, sorry. Oh my God. Yeah. Like this is so much more accurate, and you can really tell that Rick had more of a say in this. So it's definitely sort of closer to how you would imagine it. Um, it definitely influenced how I now read the next book.
Oh
And
yeah.
obviously, I was watching the series alongside it, so I'd watch a bit, read a bit of the book, watch a bit of the series. That influenced how I imagined the characters as I watched it. And yeah, I think it definitely did it justice. I think as a series, it's better than as a film
Yeah, I
because they have
think
the
that
time to.
decision was the right decision, which is let's make a series, let's not do films. Because in a film, you have 2.5 hours to hash out a story
Yeah,
that is hundreds and hundreds of pages.
yeah.
It's like you can't do that. Whereas in a series, you have 8 episodes. You can divide each chapter up. You can decide what's important, what's not important,
Mm,
and the story sort of flows.
yeah.
So I think they made the right decision there.
I think you can definitely tell that there's people that care about the story at every single stage of the production. The actors care, the costume designers, the set designers, the writers, and even like the music, every single part of that, you can tell that people are fans of the books and they want to see it adapted in the right way.
Yeah. And they picked the right age range as well. Like, no offense to Logan Lerman. Like, I love Logan. I thought his performance as Percy was brilliant. He was just too old to
Hmm.
play that role.
Yeah, that's true. It's
They
not believable.
adultified it too much. If they had gone all the way and done all the books, Logan Lerman would have been in his, what, late 30s by the time they would have finished.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it never would have worked. Like, it never
Hmm.
would have been believable. And I'm glad that, like, Walker, Arian, and Leah, they were what, 12 when they started this?
Were they actually the age of the
Yeah.
characters? That's the right way
They're
to do it.
so young, and it's nice to see that on screen.
Hmm. I
And
think we're going to see some really cool like series come out in the next few years
oh yeah,
because I mean I do know that the next one's coming out this year, so that is that's really exciting.
you were there when I found out it was coming out this year. Can we just like talk about that for a second? Because
Uh-huh.
I had just finished. episode 8, and everyone said watch the post credit scene. I said okay. So I sat and I watched it, and I was like, I don't know what I'm looking for. Like I didn't know what I was looking for. Maybe it was just like a moment where
You were hoping that it would be sooner than you
I
thought,
yeah, I was
the next
hoping we
series.
wouldn't have to wait until 2027 for Titans
Yeah.
Curse because I was like it felt like such a big gap from season 1 to season 2. I don't I didn't want people to lose what was so good about the
Momentum.
story.
Yeah, and you don't want the. I mean, obviously, child actors, they're going to look a lot older in just a few years,
Yeah.
so they can't really wait.
Can we just talk about how different Walker looks from season 1 to season 2?
Oh yeah, and even you can tell that the post credit scene, which I saw a picture of, you could see that they're so much older again.
Oh yeah.
Like he's starting to look like a man.
Yeah. And it was just yeah, they showed a clip of Titan's Curse and I went ballistic. He went mental for a good like couple of minutes. And like I was high on so much adrenaline. I had to wait for like an hour until I calmed down.
Hey, honestly, that's what the fan base is like. These are loyal people.
Honestly, I was screaming. I was just like I could not believe like it was the best news I could have got.
Mhm.
Like I don't think that there was anything better. Like the fact that it's gonna come this year, like that's more than enough.
Oh, I know you found it tough because it's like one a week.
Oh god, that was so painful. I couldn't do what I did with season 1, which is like wait until the whole show came out and binge watch it in a night.
Yeah.
This was like I had to watch it every day because I'd waited so long.
Mm.
I didn't have the patience to be like,
It was a really long, like once a week for 8 weeks.
oh,
It's
it's
like the lead up to
awful.
Christmas, yeah.
Yeah, but I managed it, and I'm hoping with Titans Curse they release it a bit more
It's not
frequently.
gonna happen.
I know it's not going to happen, but we can hope. Okay, so my last question before we move on to the first episode of season 2 is who's your favorite character in season 1? It can be different from the books.
That is a tough one. I think most of the likable characters are still just as likable. You know what I mean? Grover is just great,
Yeah, we love Grover.
and Orion does it to him so much justice.
Oh yeah,
That is literally Grover. Um, Obviously Poseidon's better in the books. Sorry, better
in
in the
the show.
series, and he actually is really cool. So maybe he's up there. Um, Chiron is better in the books because you see more of him. Because they're
Suppose,
allowed to
yeah.
flesh him out, and you get the whole more of him while he's at school and still struggling, and he doesn't know who he is. You get more of him support being the only support to Percy. So obviously, yeah, in the books you get more of that, so he's more likable, I'd probably say, in the books than in the series. I'd probably say, you see, I've seen a bit of Tyson. Is this only season one? I'm not allowed to say Tyson is the
No,
best.
we're not there yet. You have
Okay,
to
fine.
wait.
Uh, Sally's the best.
Yeah, I agree.
Sally's the best.
Virginia, honestly, I don't think they could have found a better Sally. I don't think there's a better Sally out there. Like,
Hmm.
she's just so brave and just so loving. And it's
Yeah.
not just to her own children, like, it's always to everyone else as well,
Hmm.
which I like.
Yeah.
Like, there's a bit in season 2 where she's talking to all the kids.
Hmm.
And it's like, it's so nice to see that at least they've got someone, like, even if they don't have their own family, there's someone out there looking after them,
Yeah.
which I like. Right, let's move on to season 2 and where you are in the book.
Good luck editing this.
I'm just gonna edit it. I'm just gonna stick it up
Oh, great.
because let's be honest, like it's not. This has gone over an hour. Can you imagine me trying to edit this? Record another episode tonight as well.
Oh, yeah, that
I might
sounds
just
fun.
leave it till tomorrow and just do the next episode. I haven't decided when this episode is gonna go up yet. It will probably take me so long that it will probably be next week, but we'll
Okay.
see.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously season 2 we can talk about Tyson now because he's officially part of the series.
Yeah.
So my first question for you is obviously how do you feel about Tyson being the new addition to Percy and Sally's family?
That was a better way to do it for the series, 100%.
Definitely.
Because you would have to see his eyes, or they would have to figure out another way. In fact, I probably didn't even like that about the book. I wish that Percy would have seen him for who he is straight from the start.
Yeah.
Um, it wouldn't have had to be this reveal. But I suppose they want him to be a normal kid in the school year, and then as soon as it comes to the sort of the end of the year, it comes to summer again. They want him to be go back to his special like half blood life, I suppose. Um, yeah, I like the way that they did it. I like the way that he already knew he was a Cyclops. And also that it's a nice moment where like Sally lets her into the family.
Yeah.
I quite like that.
She's very giving. And one thing it made me think of was obviously Tyson gets claimed in this episode as well.
Yeah,
Was that I don't know if Sally thought, like, knew the whole time that Tyson was Poseidon's son.
I think she knew.
And I think that's why she took him in. And he's had such a rough, like, childhood on the streets, which you'll learn more about that as the
Hmm.
episodes go on. And she gave a home to someone who didn't have a home and who didn't have a family.
And she's in the position to do that now because she's so much happier with Gabe gone.
Oh yeah, 100%. Um, there will be someone special who comes into her life as well. She deserves, which I can't wait for you to
Ooh,
get there.
interesting.
It's so good. You'll love it, but I'm not going to say anything more than that. So we're going to move on to the next question. So whilst Percy and Tyson are there, Sally says the quote, "A real hero is someone who stands up for others." And this is such a simple teaching, and it's like her words of wisdom. But as someone who is watching it from the screen, what do you think that means? If your mum was to say something like that to you, what do you think that means?
Oh, that is difficult. I like. It sort of shows that that's definitely what she thinks because she's obviously let Tyson into their family. And standing up for others, is that more relevant to the fact that Tyson's having a bad time at school and Percy's having to deal with the repercussions of supporting the unpopular kid?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He doesn't really get along with Tyson to begin with. He thinks that he's more of a hindrance than a help.
yeah,
But I think over this series, and you'll see it as well in the show, is that he learns so much about the importance of having someone like that.
yeah. He's still a little bit suspicious of him at the point that I'm at now. He doesn't entirely trust him, and he's sort of a little bit like Annabeth in that respect. Um, yeah, no, I think that was quite a nice moment, and it does show that even though Percy doesn't necessarily agree with it yet, he does it for his mum.
Yeah, of course, yeah. It's just doing. Sometimes you just do things for someone that you love, even if you don't want to.
Well, it's
So
actually
they,
yeah, it's actually what Grover did for him,
yeah,
making him like being his only friend. Grover was his only friend, and now he's Tyson's only friend, really.
yeah. So obviously in episode one, you also see Luke poisoning Charlie's tree, but you didn't know that Luke was the one that poisoned the tree because it's not revealed
Oh,
until the end of the book.
I felt good about that one because that was one that I predicted correctly.
So how did you feel about that?
I liked being able to see it.
Oh yeah, me too.
The fact that you saw it straight away, and also it shows again that Annabeth, this sort of, she knows a lot about war and battle and stuff because she suggested the fact that
It's
maybe
just
this
a
attack is
distraction,
a
yeah.
distraction, and then she worked out the fact that she's probably being attacked, that they're attacking the tree. I quite like that. Yeah, it's quite nice because you could see Luke again.
Hmm.
You know that he's going to be more of a threat again in this book because he's been sort of demonstrated as like the villain twice in a row. You know he's going to be. I don't know how much longer he even lives. Like I don't know if he's the villain in the next book or whatever. But I do like him as a villain. He does quite well.
Yeah, can we talk about Charlie's wardrobe this season? Charlie looks so good this
Is that
season.
Luke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He honestly, the way they've dressed him is exactly like how I kind of imagined in the books because he gets bougier in the books. Like the
Oh,
way he
okay.
dresses, he becomes more smart and
Such a villain.
yeah, it's so good. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that. I think I'll probably mention that when I talk about episode three, which is what I'm going to be reviewing and breaking down next. Okay, so a slightly different sort of scene, something that I forgot to ask, and I've just gone in the wrong order for this, so you just have to bear with me, so you have to think back a bit before. So before Percy and Annabeth get to camp, they are in the taxi with the Grey Sisters.
Mhm.
What did you think about the Grey Sisters? Because that is probably one of my favorite moments in the whole season.
That was exactly how I imagined it. Like that was literally how I imagined it, with the eye going everywhere, and like that Annabeth was on his side. Because I think in the book she was telling him to just, oh, don't threaten them. Literally, just give the eye back. and he was the only one threatening them, putting the eye outside the window, but she was on his side
Yeah.
in the series.
And we also like them because they're shippers of Percival.
That I've seen that clip so many times. Of is this the other boyfriend? And then he's like, "Oh, what other boyfriend?"
Is sending you these clips because I assure you it's not me.
No, really.
Yeah. It's just little things like that that get me excited.
Hmm.
And it's just like when they mention like the tall one in her dreams, like instantly the first person I thought of was Luke.
Oh yeah, I know that. That 100% that's Luke.
But then I was also wondering why he's in her dreams as well. I was like, is
Well,
he
is he like planting
manipulating
that
her
dream?
dreams on
Yeah.
purpose? Or is it because she's just so worried about him? Like, there's a lot that's not been explained yet. And the jealousy on Percy's face was just, I just like that side of him. You know why? Because he's just so, like, because he's so oblivious. It's in moments like this where it just doesn't register with me how he's not figured out that, okay, yeah, I'm feeling this jealousy towards like, because someone is
Well, I
trying to.
don't know. I mean, he's 13, so it's quite cool to sort of see it evolve. I like it.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, it's just little moments like that that I'm very happy with, as opposed to the more physical intimacy that will come up later on,
Oh, I'm not excited
basically.
for that.
It's not that
Is it
bad.
gonna make me cringe?
It's not that bad. Percy and Annabeth are the only couple that I don't think are cringy.
Okay,
So, yeah.
we shall see.
Okay, so we also meet the new camp activities director in this episode, Tantalus.
Hmm.
I don't like him at all.
Okay,
But to me, he's such a good actor.
he's very unlikable.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of understand his struggle because he said he's cursed and he's not allowed to.
Eat or drink.
The only thing that I disagree with is the fact that um like how is he allowed? How is Dionysus allowed to pick who is the camp director? Because is that not like his mate, and that's why he picked him or
No,
something?
no, no. He's come. Zeus has summoned Tantalus from the underworld.
Oh, okay. Well, he doesn't. I
Doesn't
mean, he doesn't
explicitly
have
say
to
that in
do
the
a good
show.
job, but he seems pretty friendly with Dionysus. Dionysus
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They've got a bit of a
banter,
yeah. I think it's just because they both don't like the kids that they have to look after. I think
which
that's
is
kind of.
crazy.
I think that's kind of like what bonds them together.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens now that Chiron's gone, because he was the only one keeping them in check.
Oh yeah, they get carried away. Let's just leave it at that. But the only good thing I did like about him, and not for the reason he justified it, was I like the fact that he reinstated the chariot races. I think that's pretty cool.
Well, you see, I don't know what's going to happen there, so I'm excited to see.
Okay, so on request of Adam, I'm going to add this in because I didn't want to talk about this, and I made a joke about incorporating this in the episode, and you were like, "Yeah, I'm gonna talk about it."
100%.
So there's a scene where Percy and Annabeth come to the big house. Is it the big house? And
Yeah,
Dionysus is cracking up because he's just found out that obviously Tyson is Percy's brother,
yeah.
and he makes a joke, highly, highly inappropriate joke, about the fact that Poseidon cannot keep his trident to himself. First of all, this is a kids' show, right? This is all I'm gonna say is a kids' show. I was not expecting it. It caught me off guard.
Well,
I want to know what you thought of that joke.
Mr. D might genuinely be my favorite character in season two. Not because of this joke, but I love that they made him silly. Because he was the perfect character to make him silly.
Jason Mantzoukas,
Oh
this
my
guy
god.
deserves a standing ovation for his performance
The
in the show
actor,
because he's great.
they picked the perfect actor to make him silly as well. And he was too serious in the book.
He's so unserious though now in the show.
Yeah, I love it. Because he's stuck there forever, or for thousands of years, is he not?
Yeah.
So he might as well laugh at the kids. Because he is in no danger. He's immortal.
Yeah, I suppose he doesn't. I don't really think he cares about his own kids,
Yeah, he
to be
doesn't
quite
care.
honest. So yeah, I just thought that joke was just it really, really caught me off guard. I was just like, I feel bad for Percy because obviously like he's just so traumatized with what's happened,
Mhm.
and Dionysus is just sitting there like laughing in his face, and I was just like, that's just
No,
uncalled for.
it's great. That's the best way of. You always say about how they sort of uh, put light-hearted moments into the serious bit. That's such a good way to do it. And yeah, Dionysus. huge upgrade in the show.
His laugh just gives me life. Like when he's just sitting there, like he's got literal tears coming down his face. It was
Hmm.
just like,
I imagined him as this sort of mean person in the book. I'm so glad that they made him silly.
oh yeah, he's funny.
And Peter Johnson as well.
The
That's
Peter
so
Johnson
funny.
jokes are uncalled for.
I love it.
I rewatched a bit. I for some reason that scene came up on one of my reels of him the first time Percy meets him and he Dionysus presents he's his dad, and I just went and watched just that scene specifically, and it
Yeah,
still cracked me up.
it's so good.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. So one thing that you mentioned to me is the fact that Percy and Annabeth are in a bit of a difficult phase in their friendship. I'm gonna say friendship, not relationship.
Yeah, so I finished episode 1
Yeah.
of season 2,
Mhm.
and also I mean, it's the same thing in the book, but it's not as much. In the show, you can really see that they're annoyed at each other because we've just had the part where Percy is choosing Tyson over her,
Yeah.
really, and Annabeth walks off because she's grieving over
Thalia.
Thalia. It's yeah, there is a bit of an argument going on,
There's
and
a
to be
lot of
fair,
tension between them. I thought in the first two episodes, it was a bit like,
I
oh,
think it makes more. Annabeth's position makes more sense when you think that Thalia is a person,
yeah.
because I only see it as she is a tree.
Well, I suppose yeah, you haven't really seen her in person yet.
So because I think of her as a tree, I'm kind of like I'm on Percy's side.
That's such a man response. Can I just say, oh, she's a tree, so she's irrelevant?
Well, not as important. The thing we've just seen the bit where Percy's about to go to sleep, right? And Annabeth, he's like, "Oh, give me 2 minutes to introduce myself to my brother, who I've just discovered, and I've like discovered that I've been lied to my entire life." And she's like, "Oh no, I don't have time for that." Just walking off. Don't even try.
No. Do you know what it is? And I explained this a little bit when I broke the episode down. Is Annabeth has realised that now she has to share Percy. And it's a twinge of jealousy in there because she doesn't want to share him.
I
She's
think,
been away from him for a
yeah,
year. Like she doesn't want to waste any more time. And now she feels like there's this new person that Percy all of a sudden cares about and who's got all of his undivided attention. And it is a teeny bit of jealousy, which is like, oh, why should I have to
yeah.
share the person that who's supposed to be my person? Like, why should I share them?
Well, I'm sure they'll make up soon.
Yeah, and also like the fight that they're having is because they haven't communicated properly in so long. Like yes, they've written each other letters, but individually they're both hiding stuff from each other. Percy hid the fact that Tyson was living with
Yeah,
them. Annabeth hid the fact that she actually
did
um
have coins.
yeah, she did have the drachmas, but also there's something that you need to close your ears for a second because I'm about to say something.
Alright.
She's angry with him because she didn't all those mortal things that he wanted her to experience, she went and did them, but she's not happy. Do you know what I mean? Like she's not happy with what like she doesn't enjoy the mortal life the way he does. You can uncover your ears. So like she's hiding that from him because she doesn't want to hurt his feelings. So yeah, I see both sides of the argument, but I don't have an opinion on who's right because I think they're both wrong in
Percy's
their own
right.
ways. No, you're just
No,
wrong.
okay, I agree they're both wrong, but Percy's a little bit wrong, and Annabeth is very wrong.
No. Okay. Anyway, so obviously in that episode, towards the end of the episode, you get the reveal of the empathy link between Percy and
Oh yeah.
Grover.
Mm-hmm.
Have you read that bit in the book yet?
No.
Oh, okay.
So, but I do know of it because I've seen it in the show.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what did you think of that? So an empathy link is a connection between a demigod and a satyr
Hmm.
that can only happen between best friends, so they can feel each other's emotions and things like that. What do you think of that? Because I think that's a really unique and clever concept. But
I
what
think
do
it's
you
really
think?
cool, and how they show it in the show with them being in the same dream at the same time, and he's like he hears the same numbers again that he heard from
30,
the
31, 75, 12.
okay, yeah, those ones.
Coordinates to the Polyphemus' island in the Sea of
Yeah.
Monsters.
So he hears that again, and also he like is transported to the same sort of place that Grover's in. That's quite nice. I
Yeah,
think it's pretty cool. And also, I just like seeing Grover again because that's the first time we've
me
seen him.
too.
It's the first time we've seen him in this book.
Yeah.
So, sorry, in this show. I haven't even seen him in the book yet.
Mhm.
I only have the dream that he had of being chased.
In a wedding dress.
Yeah.
In a wedding dress.
I know you're trying to hint it.
I love the wedding dress. I'm not gonna lie, I think it was such a good idea, and Arian looks stunning in the wedding dress.
We are about to see.
Okay, so there was a lot that happened in the first episode. How do you feel about the first episode? Because obviously I feel like it's such a change from season one.
Um, I can't tell if it's not much darker yet.
No, I just mean like in terms of everybody's a lot more grown up. The issues are becoming a lot more grown up.
Yeah, it's definitely no, it's a different. Like he's looking for the fleece now, and in the first one they were looking for the bowl. It's the same. It's just building off of the same drama. Like you can tell that it's Luke again, and that he's being manipulated by Kronos, and that it builds on from that. And then maybe there's going to be this. I'm guessing the Titan's Curse. The name of the next book sounds like it's got Kronos in it. Um, yeah, so I like that it builds off from that to become this bigger um, villain towards the end.
Hmm.
And I do get the feeling that I wonder if Luke's gonna become a goodie again.
Don't know. You'll have to
That
see.
would be
He does have a great arc in these books.
because
That's all I'm gonna
he is
say.
being manipulated. He's not actually
Bad.
bad in himself.
Well, it's. I actually was going to talk about this when I break down the next episode, which is he's got an honorable mission, which is he wants to
We see,
free these children
yeah,
from their parents, but he's going about it the wrong way, and
hmm
which is why I just can't be on his side. Like, yes, he raises valid points about these gods not caring about their
yeah.
children, and he's striving for this golden age where
hmm
everyone is valued, but he has gone about it the wrong way.
Like Percy probably agrees with
He
his
does,
overall point.
as he does say that, like, he doesn't hate Luke. He agrees with what he's trying to say. It's just he hates the way he is going about it.
Yeah.
Like, killing innocent people is not the solution.
hmm
So, yeah, and obviously he wants to create a world without humans and stuff in it, which is
Yeah.
ridiculous because Luke's mom is immortal and
Yeah.
so is Percy's mom. So it doesn't really, that side of it to Percy just doesn't sit right. But in this season, you can really see he's against Luke. Like, I have never seen Percy so angry in this season.
I'm excited.
And I like that side of him. So we've got last two questions to wrap up because we've been talking for the longest time.
Oh
And I'm
yeah.
actually getting a bit hungry.
Everyone is bored.
If you're still here, like honestly, you deserve a standing ovation because I don't know what just happened there.
Good job.
But the last few things I'm going to ask you is first of all, do you think that the show is an accurate representation of the books, which is sort of a bit of what we've already talked about, but I'm just going to ask you.
We spoke about it with season one.
Yeah,
I think season two, there's probably more changes so far.
yeah, it's very different, but those changes have been justified.
Yeah, I
I
think they've been
get it.
made for the right reasons. So I do agree with the changes, and it's not like completely changed it in a bad way. It hasn't changed how I sort of feel about any of it. It's just sort of like skipped certain bits, which is better for a series adaptation because you can't include every little bit or like how he's feeling in the moment because they have the advantage of like being able to hear his internal monologue um in the book.
Mm,
I think they've done it the right way, and
yeah,
it
me
helps
too.
because of that. The people that are playing it are just so good.
Yeah. Okay, so last and final question is how far are you in the Sea of Monsters book? And what do you know so far?
So I finished the fifth chapter, which is like crazy that five chapters are in one episode in the series. You can kind of feel that. It feels like a lot has happened in one episode.
They
Um,
haven't got time to waste. They have to just get in.
yeah.
So,
Um, I don't. There's a lot of questions that are unanswered. I suppose it's easier to talk about them. I don't know why Annabeth is annoyed at Percy, really. I don't know why she doesn't like Tyson. I don't know why everybody doesn't like Tyson. I also don't know who. Well, technically, I don't know who's poisoned the tree, but I do know that because of the series. And also, it makes sense that it builds on from Luke again, and I enjoy that they're using the same the same villain again,
Mhm.
and they're sort of building on from it, and then like we haven't seen Kronos yet. Like we've only seen like heard him in this giant pit in hell, so we don't really know. I don't know what he looks like or anything, which is
Mhm.
quite interesting. He's like Thanos, you know what I mean? Something that
Yeah.
they like this they build to this giant villain, and all of these mini villains like Luke, and Ares, they're just like they're nothing compared to this giant.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think they adapted it very well.
Yeah. Season 2 is bigger. It's better. There's violence, there's blood, there's a lot higher stakes this season.
Um,
There is a lot more, and I love the flashbacks that they've put in to explain some of those questions that
okay,
you have.
right.
So yeah, I'm really excited to
I'm very excited
for
as
you
well.
to keep reading and to just get to the show, and maybe you make it all the way to episode 8, and then we can talk about it together.
Okay, yeah. A
Um,
bit of an update on like I'll be like, oh my god, everybody's dead.
no, no, this is the last. I was thinking about this morning. This is the last like easygoing book.
Oh really?
Yeah, the next books are just like stake after stake. Things are getting worse. This war is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've got no way to avoid it anymore. People are gonna die, and you know their home is in the most danger it's ever been in before. So it's nice to just enjoy this as being the
Yeah.
last nice bit of the story. But I'm so excited to see what they've come up with in season 3. Like I don't know where they're gonna take this,
I'll be
but
on the same boat as you soon when I'm like freaking out over the post-credit scene,
oh
and then
yeah.
I've got 7 months or whatever to wait until the next series. Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely excited to read the rest of the book, and I've enjoyed it so far. Definitely, I'm glad I've been brought into the community, and I know there's a huge amount of like people that are completely obsessed with the books and
You're gonna
that
be
are
one
like,
of us one day,
oh, soon,
and
soon.
you're gonna be like, why did I not find this in my life sooner? Because I think that all the time. I was just like, yeah, I was so young, but I wish I came to it
And I know
even younger.
there's like shoot off books as well that are sort of in the same world but different stories where maybe Percy isn't in it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like I think you'd want to read Heroes of Olympus. Like you'll see the size of the book and think, nah, I can't do it. But honestly, you can.
Okay. No, that'd be interesting, and I'm loving it so far.
But yeah, a bit of a different episode today. I never thought I'd have a guest on, and now that I've had a guest on, I have doubled the amount of time I normally do.
Two people, double the time. That's not so bad.
Yeah, but I really hope that you guys enjoyed this absolute waffling session. I'm glad I got to pick your brain. It's so fun. It's harder for me to answer the questions.
Without spoiling the
Yeah.
future. Yeah.
So it's nice to have somebody to just bounce off of and talk about it. But I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. It is ridiculously long. I am so sorry. If you're still here, my God, you are a trooper, is all I can say. But
The
yeah.
true fans are still here.
If anyone wants to ask me any questions, I will try my best to answer them. My DMs are open, my email is open. Feel free. If actually, to be honest, a lot of people ask me a question on threads as well, so just go for it.
Yeah.
If that's the best way for you to communicate with me. We are so excited for season 3.
Oh yeah.
Like I just can't explain it.
I know at least I can because I'll be up to date and I'll be watching every episode that comes out. I can be freaking out with everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
And obviously, just a huge thank you to the entire Percy series team, like for bringing this story back to life because it deserved so much better.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that it was given the opportunity to come back to life again. And obviously, our Percy Jackson Walker just he just lights up the screen when he's on the screen. I don't know what else to say about him apart from that.
Yeah.
Like he's so perfect.
After 20 years, it's still being like it's as relevant as it's ever been right now. It's all I see on my Instagram. Genuinely, like there's this huge community of people that are for it, every single detail, and like are just zooming in on every single episode, seeing the tiny little details. And yeah, it's great.
Yeah. And obviously we've got some new characters next season that I'm very excited to meet. Zoe Nightshade, who I'm so excited to meet. Tamara, who is Thalia, she is fantastic, and she's representing all us British people up there with her British accent. I love it. Um, and yeah, Lady Artemis as well. I'm excited to meet all the huntresses, and yeah, it's just we've got a lot of good things to look forward to. Um, and yeah, Rick is very happy, so that makes me very happy. That's all I can say. Um, yeah, you got anything you want to say before we wrap this up?
Uh, no, I think in an hour and 40 minutes managed to say everything that could possibly be on my mind. No, I'm happy.
Yeah.
So
Would
thank
you be
you.
willing to come back and talk about it all again?
Well, we'll see if anybody wants to see my silly opinion again.
No, don't love it, I'm sure. But yeah, we're gonna go now because we've been talking for an hour and 43 minutes, and I'm gonna smash my head against the keyboard when I go to edit this.
Good job.
Right, anyway, we're gonna go now.
Okay,
Thank
bye.
a big thank you to Adam for coming on and doing this. I know it's not the easiest thing, but you did it. There you
Yeah,
go.
I spoke into it.
Right, we're gonna go now. I will put a proper ending to this. I'll record this after
Hmm.
and a proper beginning because the bit about the Ferrero Rocher probably makes no sense to anyone.
Okay.
So yeah, this will probably be about an hour and 50 minutes by the time I get around to editing it and sorting it out.
Hmm.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening in. We really appreciate it. And there'll be a new episode next week. It might be the episode 3 breakdown because I don't know if I've got it in me anymore to record another episode. So maybe I'll break down episode 3 next week and this can go up as my weekly upload for this week. Yeah. Happy?
Yeah.
Sorted. I understand that was a ridiculously long episode. I'm so sorry, but I hope you guys enjoyed having Adam on the podcast. I want to say a big thank you to Adam for doing this. I really appreciate it. I know it can be very scary to do something like this, but I hope he had a great time. And I just wanted to say a big thank you to all of you for sticking around for such a long episode. All episodes of my podcast are available to stream now on Spotify and on my YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Threads, both are at Aamsuntitledpodcast. Feel free to DM me any sort of questions. All my contact details are listed under each episode, and that goes for Spotify and YouTube. I hope you guys have had an amazing week, and I will be back next week with the breakdown and review of episode 3. We board the Princess Andromeda, and I will be speaking to you guys very soon. Mwah! Bye!